Hey y'all, what's good? What's happening? So I know it's been a very, very long time since we put out a video. We've been super busy. Then y'all know March is very hard for us, but finally got together to talk about our very first con of the year, which was Animeverse. So, as many of y'all know, we've been to Animeverse so many times. We've been going for the past how many years, O'Donnell?
Maybe like three? Shoot, I don't know. I just know we've been going since like the beginning. So.
Yeah, so we were literally there from like I want to say either year one or year two. And we've always enjoyed it. And, it first started out in, I believe it was Pasadena. It was kind of small, but it grew into, uh, they had to have a bigger space because it got packed real fast. And we are really happy for the growth that it has had over the years. They deserve it. It's rightfully so because they are really good people, truly and honestly. So, Ardonna, how did Animeverse treat you this time?
I mean, it was fine. I mean, if I would say like one thing to correct, I would say I think the wrestling mat, whatever, it was near like the panel and it was kind of loud or disruptive. But otherwise, I was cool with everything.
Yeah, that the placement of where the wrestlers were might needs to be reworked. So I was able to sit on the panel with Rob Paulson. Thankfully, nothing was going on then. But when the panel that came after his, which was Kari Payton's and who's the other people?
Oh shoot. What's his face? Phil
Yeah,
Lamar.
Phil Lamar.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Phil Lamar.
Phil Lamar. It was Phil Lamar and Kari Payton. And the wrestling match, went on, but it was loud. It was very loud. Almost to the point where like I was able to hear what they were saying, but it was very much so clashing. So I think they might need to put that somewhere else inside NRG. Not saying that they don't need it. I mean, I think it's a great addition since they both did wrestling and anime together. That's kind of their thing. So that was fine, but they might need to place that somewhere else in the facility because that it was just way too loud, bro. Let's see what else can we say. It was always good seeing our people. You know, and one thing I was surprised about. Not too surprised, but still surprising how long the lines were. It was a lot of people. It was a lot of people, especially on Friday. Typically we get there first thing, but being there, Ardonna had to go to work, and she got off when she got off. It's not like we could have just got there like right then and there. So when we walked in, I was like, "Oh, that line is really, really long." But it didn't take long for us to go inside, really. So it wasn't really that big a deal. Um, let's see what else. Yeah, I did have fun playing with the games. When they had, of course, Retro World Series with Hal, what he does with his games and everything. Really, really appreciate that. Not saying that it's not cool to play like current stuff, but it just brings forth such a feeling of nostalgia whenever you play like the games that we grew up with. So shout out to them for getting Hal to have his thing there. So I really appreciate that personally. It was fun. Let's see what else. I mean, to be honest, guys, like I said, we've been going like literally every year, and steadily there's been improvement, like each time. So it's not saying that there's not much to say, and there's always room for improvement. But I mean, they've always been good. They've always been solid. I don't think there's ever been a time where they felt like they weren't, doing what they were supposed to be doing, or it just felt like it was kind of weird. The vibes were different, stuff like that. How was the batch process, Donald?
Oh, the batch process, it was quick and easy. You know what? And I appreciate the fact where the badges were, like you could pick it up. I appreciate that it was like on a different floor, because if they would have put it on the same floor, it would have been too much cluster going on. So I'm glad they had it in a, on the second floor in a big room and space to kind of, cut down on the lines a little bit.
Yeah, so that part I thought was pretty nice. And of course the room was big enough, so like if there was gonna be like a huge volume of people, it was gonna be able to house all those folks. So there really wasn't any issues with that. Being that they had like a food court inside, of course that's always a good thing. So that way, if you want to get a bite to eat, you could do that. And they also had food trucks outside. That's cool too. I've always said that I prefer going somewhere that's local. Not saying there's anything wrong with food trucks, but I know where to eat at in Houston. And as y'all will find out in a couple more videos, when we took our friend Brando and two of his friends to Loaded Burger, y'all gonna see why I'd be like, hey, you see what's popping around here, so y'all can get something really good to eat. Telling you, it's always worth it. Let's see what else.
I mean, it's not really that much, nothing like bad, but like I said, they improve areas when they improve in. The fact they're expanding their shows in like different states and stuff is wild.
Yeah, like I think they have one in like Tennessee. I know they have one in last year in Louisiana. They have one, I believe, in Kansas City.
Yeah.
One in Nevada. I think one in Pittsburgh. So it's cool that they're expanding like that much out in the U.S. As opposed to just only being in Houston. Not saying that they shouldn't do it, but it's cool that they're having that much growth with what they're trying to do. And each venue that they had it at, I've seen the amount of people that was at all of the other ones, and it'd be a lot of folks. So that in itself is pretty dope, man. Really, really dope. I'm super happy for both of them. And I will say the placement of the voice actors. When we were standing in line, like we didn't really stand in line long anyway, because it wasn't that many people you want to see anyway.
Yeah, but they did have them spaced out, and I noticed some of the high profile voice actors, they had them against not like the wall, but towards the back. And even though the lines were crazy long, you can kind of tell who lines was what. So that was very much appreciated, how they have them spaced out and have certain voice actors in different areas and stuff. So.
Yeah, I think that part was a great idea. And then even like the guest that was like kind of in the middle, it wasn't like it was like cramped or anything. Or even in when we was in Rob Paulson line, I still didn't feel like it was really like a lot. Like I wasn't trapped or anything.
Speaking of lines, shout out for my boy Alex Lee. I know he was like beyond dead. Oh my goodness, that poor baby. His line was super long. I remember seeing the video, so I hope Alex Lee is doing fine, because that's a line.
No, I think they even capped this line off, right?
Yeah, they did. Yep.
So yeah, them lines can get long. Hey, word of advice. So if there's like a certain voice actor or celebrity that y'all really want to see, and it's somebody that's high profile, I'm going to suggest that y'all get there as early as possible. Because them lines, like for that, is going to be super, super long. Even, we had saw Chris Sabat, was that last year?
I think last year or year before, I don't know.
Yeah. But check this though. Like, we just happened to walk by, like his line was already long. Then the overflow was already long too. So I was like, oh, they're not playing no games with that. So yeah, guys, like definitely get there as early as possible so you can just get in, get out. Oh, by the way, one special guest that we had, it was his very first convention. My friend, her name is Crystal, and her son is Jamari. So he never actually been to an anime convention before, and you know, for his first one, he really, really enjoyed it. And that was something that I wanted to make sure that, you know, he get to see some of the things that we get to do, the things that we see, the people that we're cool with. He was surprised that we were cool with so many folks. And I told him, I was like, hey, that's why you got to be around us like that. But all in all, for his first convention, he really, really liked it. So, what can I say? I mean, as of right now, they still got an A to me.
Yeah, they still got an A. Look, A for Animeversefest, right?
I mean, they've been having an ace, like, what, for the past couple years?
Shoot, I don't know. I mean, hey, they deserve it. They've been staying consistent and solid. So.
Right, and I appreciate the fact that they listen. They listen to a lot of suggestions. Now, even though some of those suggestions be really outlandish and kind of silly, but they still listen to what folks say. So, it's very much so appreciated. Well, Ardana, I guess we're going to go ahead and wrap this up. Because, I mean, like I said, we've been to this con many, many times. So, with that being said, y'all, we're going to holler at y'all later. As always, the Green Kids Adventure sign off and have a very blessed day. Peace, and we are out of there.